After the death of Abu Bakr, the first Caliph of Islam, the mantle of leadership fell upon the capable shoulders of Umar ibn al-Khattab. Umar was a formidable figure, known for his strength and his unwavering faith. Yet beneath his stern exterior resided a man of profound justice, humility, and a deep commitment to the welfare of his people. He assumed the title of Amir al-Mu'minin, meaning Commander of the Faithful, a title that reflected his commitment to serving the needs of the growing Muslim community. Umar's caliphate marked a period of unprecedented expansion for the Islamic Empire. From the Arabian Peninsula, Muslim armies marched east and west, carrying the message of Islam to new lands and peoples. But Umar, ever mindful of the principles of his faith, insisted that these conquests be undertaken with justice and compassion. He forbade the destruction of churches and temples, and he ensured that the conquered people were treated with dignity and respect. Umar understood that true leadership was not about amassing power or territory. It was about serving the people and upholding the principles of justice and righteousness. He led by example, sharing in the hardships of his people and always placing their welfare above his own. Umar's reign was replete with stories that illustrated his deep sense of justice and his empathy for the common man. One famous anecdote recounts his habit of conducting night patrols in disguise to observe the conditions of his people firsthand. One cold night he came across an impoverished woman and her children huddled around a fire. The woman was stirring a pot, but when Umar drew closer he realized with a pang of sadness that the pot contained only stones and water. The woman, desperate to soothe her crying children, was pretending to cook, hoping to lull them to sleep with the promise of a meal. Deeply moved by the woman's plight, Umar rushed back to the public treasury and returned with a sack of flour, meat, and dates. He personally cooked a meal for the family and stayed with them until the children were fed and comforted. This story, passed down through generations, encapsulates Umar's commitment to social justice and his belief that a ruler's primary responsibility was to care for the weakest and most vulnerable members of society. Umar was not only a just and compassionate ruler, but also a brilliant administrator. He recognized that the rapidly expanding Islamic Empire needed a strong and efficient administrative structure to ensure stability and prosperity. He established a sophisticated system of governance, introducing groundbreaking reforms that laid the foundation for a flourishing Islamic civilization. One of his most significant achievements was the establishment of a formal judiciary system. He appointed judges renowned for their integrity and knowledge of Islamic law to settle disputes and ensure justice for all, regardless of their social standing. Recognizing the importance of financial transparency and accountability, Umar also created the Bayt al-Mal, or public treasury. This institution collected taxes and distributed resources fairly, funding public works, supporting the poor and needy, and financing the empire's expansion. His innovative administrative reforms, rooted in principles of fairness, transparency, and accountability, transformed the Islamic State into a model of efficient governance. Umar ibn al-Khattab ruled for a decade, a period marked by remarkable expansion, prosperity, and justice. His legacy extends far beyond his military conquests and administrative achievements. He left an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of Muslims, who remember him as Umar the Just, a shining example of piety, humility, and selfless service. Umar's life and leadership offer timeless lessons for all times. He reminds us that true leadership is not about power or prestige, but about service, compassion, and a relentless pursuit of justice. His example continues to inspire, reminding us that even amidst the challenges of leadership, we must never lose sight of our humanity and our responsibility to the most vulnerable among us.